Good morning. This is Rachel with Infused Meadows, and I need to make some barbecue sauce, so I thought I'd bring you along in case you'd like to make your own. I'm going to start with my liquid ingredients, and then I will list off what I'm putting in seasoning-wise, but I'm not going to make you watch me actually put that in. Basically just to keep the video from being too long. But I'll list it off as we go. Okay, so I have a medium-sized pot. I'm going to add 2 cups, 16 ounces of black coffee. 1 second. And that is yesterday's coffee, so that way it'll be a little bit more pungent, hopefully. I have 2/3 a cup of tomato paste, or for those in the UK, the double concentrate tomato puree. What a name. It's a very long name. Alright. Next, I have 1/3 a cup of apple cider vinegar. I have 1/4 a cup of honey. Now this is what I call a sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. I have 1/3 a cup of packed brown sugar, and I've done a video showing you how to make your own. So I'm going to whisk this up, and then once I get this nice and whisked together, I'm going to add in, let's start with the first one, okay, a tablespoon of olive oil. Where's my tablespoon? We're going to do a tablespoon of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I'm sorry, I'm making a double batch. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. And then I'm going to go in with my spices. I'm going to do 4 teaspoons of paprika, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground mustard, 2 teaspoons of salt, just use what you got, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, if you want this warmer, add up to about a tablespoon. It puts kind of a nice heat on it with that sweetness still in the background. And then I like to add, you do not have to, but I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of my ancho powder, my home ground anchos. Well, home dehydrated and ground. All right, so I'm going to get all this in here. I'm going to whisk this up, and then I'm going to add my spices in. I'm going to give that a whisk, okay? And then we'll be back. So I just put all my spice mixes on top and gently, using my whisk, just work that in. As you can see. And then once you think that you have, well, you should see it. You should see that you have almost all of it mixed in. You can go in a little bit more aggressively. Okay. I'm going to move this over to the stove and I'll bring you right back. I'm on a medium heat, and what I'm going to do is I want this to come up to a simmer. Once we're up to a simmer, now I will stir this the whole time. I do that personally. You can, just occasionally come stir this, but you're going to cook this for about 10 to 15 minutes until it is as thick as you want this to be. So if it takes 15, it takes 15. If you want it to go longer than that, you probably can. I think I normally do about 13 to 14 minutes, but that's just my preference. So stir this, let this come up to a simmer, set yourself a timer, and you can do 15 minutes, and then you can set a second timer to say check on it at like 12 minutes. And then, because you should be stirring this occasionally. Now, the reason I stir this the whole time is because you're not going to put a lid on this. You don't want to add extra liquid to your barbecue sauce. So, tomatoes, especially tomatoes, this will pop all over the place. So, to keep that from making a huge mess, I'll stir it the whole time. Okay? And then, once you're done, go ahead and taste it and see if you need to adjust your salt. I find that this one is perfect. It's not too spicy and it's not too sweet, and it goes great on everything. I will not be using this today in a recipe, but I needed to go ahead and get this made because tomorrow I'm making pulled pork, so that my husband and I will have pulled pork sandwiches over the weekend. So I will definitely be referencing this in tomorrow's video whenever I get that that pork roast or whatever it is cooking. And that will I'll try to keep that down, you know, as long as I can, because that thing is going to have to cook for a couple of hours. I'll probably use my slow cooker, you know, to make sure it's good and tender and pulling apart and ready to shred. Okay, so once this is done to the consistency that I want, I let this set for about 5 to 10 minutes just to cool a little, and then I put this in a jar and I store it in the refrigerator. It's that easy. Use it as you want in any recipe that you're going to use for barbecue. I use this for my barbecue chicken, my pulled pork, pulled chicken, as a dipping sauce. I mean, anything that calls for barbecue sauce, you've got a recipe. And you can change it up. If you don't want to use coffee, use chicken broth, use beef broth. You could try vegetable broth. You could probably even try water. I personally wouldn't use water because the liquid you choose really adds a lot of flavor to your sauce. But it's yours. Do with it as you will. If there's an ingredient that I use that you think, I don't like that, don't use it. Now, my advice is always to make a recipe that you get as is the first time. And then that way you can taste it and adjust. That way you'll know, okay, that's too spicy for me. That's not spicy enough for me. That's way too sweet. You know, and then that way you can say, okay, I don't quite like that much sugar. Well, what if I tried taking it down, you know? Or that's too spicy, so let's eliminate the cayenne, if you will. So, I mean, that's the glory of recipes, you know? You take it, you try it, and you're like, okay, I like it, but... And it's that but that helps you to be able to change whatever you want to about a recipe. Okay? And you make it your own. I hope that this helps. I hope you make this. Actually, as I always say, I honestly hope that you like it or love it. But if you don't, then, you know, I hope you find the recipe that's out there for you. And as always, I hope that you have a wonderful day.